Welcome, everybody. This is the College Q&A with Northern Michigan University and Jillian Seguin, who is here from Traverse City, but representing Northern Michigan in Marquette. So I wanted to just thank you for watching this video or participating today. And if you ever have any questions about the College Q&As, just know in general, they'll be happening Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 4 p.m. in the rest of October, and then they will be at 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. in the month of November. So with no further ado, Jillian, please share about Northern Michigan with us. I'm so excited to learn more.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody. And well, thank you for everybody on the call and those of you that might be joining later and watching a recorded version of this. So as mentioned, my name is Jillian and I work in admissions at Northern Michigan University. And I think what I'll just go right ahead and jump into doing is I'll share my screen. And then hopefully you can see a nice, gorgeous, beautiful sunset picture and the nice Be Northern tagline. So Be Northern is our new campaign this year. So you might see that around in a lot of different ads and print materials. That's just what that's referencing. But a really cool thing of all the slides and all the pictures I'm going to show you today is nothing is stock photography. So if you can believe it, Marquette is a very easy place to love and enjoy. These are a couple of our students right here on the Lake Superior Beach. We get a ton of gorgeous sunsets and sunrises up that way. So it's a very easy place to like to be and to like to photograph. So we got a great marketing department and a lot of students that take all these beautiful photos for us. But right off the top, you might be wondering, why am I even talking to you? And where is my background kind of playing into all of this with the whole college admissions? So typically if I'm in person doing a presentation, I usually have you guess, what do you think I went to school for? Because I pretty much can guarantee if you look at any admissions brochure or any type of view book, you probably won't find admissions counselor listed in the programs anywhere. So I am actually an artist. So my whole background is graphic design, painting. These are a couple of my paintings you're seeing on the screen right now, marketing. So really anything in kind of that creative marketing industry sector. And I actually did not even go to school for art. So if you are somebody kind of listening and watching this and you have no idea what you want to do not feel like you have to have it figured out, because I'm 30 years old and I still really don't have it figured out. So don't feel like you have to have a major and a program and everything completely done right now. But if you do, that's awesome too. We really, it's great to have some interests and some passions that you might want to follow. So just a quick little background on me. My only goal when I was choosing college was to get as far away from my hometown as I possibly could. That was it. So super solid decision making at 18 years old. And I ended up actually being a transfer student. So that's somebody that does 2 years at a community college and then they transfer to a university, or you could do 1 year or semester. It doesn't really have to be a certain amount of time. But I started at Alpena Community College, where my mom is actually the dean of students. So you can tell I didn't really have a lot of options. She said, you're going there. And then I picked Western Michigan University only because it was as far away from Alpena, Michigan, my hometown, as I possibly could get. So that was what was in my head when I was kind of in your seat. And you can see that I also majored in organizational communication, which is just kind of a big fancy long title for a communication degree. And there I always say my biggest regret, if I had anything, was that I didn't major in art. So if you're somebody that has a very specific passion and well-meaning adults in your life are saying, make sure it's employable or make sure it's something you can get a job in, I would definitely just advocate for following what you're interested in, what you like, what you're really passionate about. And I think your experience is going to be a lot more just detailed and robust and deeper than it would be if you're following something like a path that you think you just should be doing. So that's just kind of some good things to keep thought in the back of your mind as I go. And then you think the journey ends when you graduate college, and it does not. So that white timeline down in the bottom, that's everywhere I went after college. So I graduated from Western in 2012, was in Denver for a year, over in Philadelphia for a couple of years, came back to Michigan, and then as I was mentioned earlier, I am in Traverse City now, and I've been with Northern for just under 4 years. So it's kind of a nice, fun, twisty journey of life. But the biggest thing with me today, and anytime that you interact with me, is I just want you to think of me as a resource. So this doesn't even have to be a Northern specific question. If there is something about college that you're just on your mind, you're like, I don't know who to ask, email me. If there is something like really bothering you or you're worried about, email me. So I am just here to be a resource for all parts of your college search process. And you're going to see a lot of different quotes today on these different slides and pictures. And one of my favorite ones here from Adrian, who's one of our criminal justice students, is that second sentence where he said, they made me feel like I wasn't just another student they were trying to recruit, and that they actually cared about my future and well-being. And I would say that's the biggest cornerstone of Northern. I hate the question, well, sell me on NMU. I get that at college fairs all the time. And the truth is I can't sell you on NMU. At NMU, we want you to feel like it's just a super good fit, and you like the vibe and you like the people, and you can see yourself really doing well and fitting in there. So that's kind of what we're going to try and do today, is show you what you might see yourself doing up in Marquette. And so, as mentioned, NMU is in Marquette, Michigan, so up in the beautiful Upper Peninsula. It is a very far trek north, and that's probably a big feature of why a lot of people would pick NMU, is the location. So a lot of people just love the area. They're very adventure minded, kind of off the beaten path type of people. They like that type of let's head north and have a whole adventure and see what happens type of vibe. So that's what we find a lot of our students kind of coming to us looking for. So I typically say, however long it takes you to get to the Mackinac Bridge, add 3 more hours and then you are on campus. So from Traverse City, it's about a 5-hour drive, just under for me. So definitely very far compared to other places you might be looking at. And then of course, every college has their by the numbers slide or book or pamphlet. And so we are no different there. But the biggest one that's probably the most important or most interesting to you on this would be that 7,600 number, the first one up there in the top left. And that's how many students actually attend NMU. So we're in a nice little like Goldilocks sweet spot. We're not massive, but we're not tiny. So if you're kind of looking for more of that hands-on feel, but you really want the opportunities and the resources of a bigger university, you might find a nice fit with us for size. And then of course, just some other things that we're known through across our different programs and whatnot, all very specific majors, but those might be some interest if anybody's looking at a major specific there with those numbers. And then going a little deeper on the numbers, you'll see that 28. So that's our average class size. So you can expect to have just around 30 people in your classes with us. So again, you'll probably hear me say the word hands-on about 45 more times throughout the whole presentation, but very hands-on, very visual. Your professors are going to absolutely know who you are, which could be a great thing. Other people might be like, oh, it's a little too close for comfort. So it's really kind of finding and deciding what your preference is, but that's what you can expect to find on our campus. And then, so speaking of programs, one of the really cool things is we are not an official research university. So what that means is our faculty, they're not required to hit a certain number of research projects or a certain number of papers or any of those types of metrics. They can literally just do what they're passionate about doing. And then they can bring you into that too, which is kind of cool. So again, that hands-on type of theme, that's really running true across all of our programs. So the ones you're seeing on your screen right now are some of the ones that we're really known for. You might hear about NMU in the news and the media for, especially that Plant Revolution second column. So we are the school that has the medicinal plant chemistry program. It's a pretty big destination program for us. And this is everything in the cannabis kind of growing industry market. If you're interested in working with any type of herbal plants or all of those sorts of things, this is a great program for that. And so this is a 4-year bachelor's degree. So you might hear the words bachelor's degree and associate's degree kind of thrown around. So really what that kind of comes down to is this is a 4-year program. So if you're somebody that's like, wow, that sounds so cool, I'm really interested in that industry, but there's no way I'm going to commit 4 years of my life to a college or to a program, we have a brand new one called Indoor Agriculture, which is a 2-year program. So there's a lot of options to play with here, and I'll get into some other kind of details around how we look and think about programs. But the first up too there, that frost column. So that is our forensic research outdoor station, or AKA our body farm. So we do have a whole facility of dead human bodies decomposing in the ground. It's its own thing. You can't like walk across campus and accidentally step on a hand or anything like that. So you do have to specifically get in the facility. But this is really cool. We're the only cold weather facility in the entire world. We're one of about only 9 that I think exists, but only cold weather. And so what you literally do is watch bodies decompose, see time of death, cause of death, how long a body has been there for. So this is for all of my crime scene, forensic, kind of those time of death, cause of death type of job scenarios that you might be interested in looking at. And then of course, you're going to see a lot of different things over in the sciences and psychology with our Bear Center. And then of course, cyber and robotics is a pretty big thing in our cybersecurity. Our Cybersecurity Institute is another big heavy hitting thing that we do. So really what it comes down to is you don't have to have the experience coming to us. We're going to do that for you when you get to campus. So if there's an area that you're like, wow, that sounds so interesting, but I know nothing about it, that sounds really intimidating, we're literally going to meet you where you are and then kind of give you the skills to take you to where you want to go with it. So don't feel like you have to come to us with any prior knowledge. We literally can hook you right up when you get on campus and kind of take it from there. So that's kind of where we see our role and how we do that for you. And if it sounds like I'm throwing a ton of information at you, I am, because there's just under 180 programs that you can take a look at with us. So there's a lot. And so I mentioned that medicinal plant chemistry being a 4-year bachelor's degree program. We do everything. So we do everything from 1-year certificates to 2-year programs to 4-year programs. So with us, college is just definitely not that kind of typical traditional where you might think like, I'm going to do a 4-year bachelor's degree. People come from all different backgrounds, all different programs. So it's really just not a one size fits all. That green column over there on the right side of your screen, you're going to see our top areas of study. So you can see nursing is number 1 for us. We've got a pretty big nursing school, really popular major. And then of course, a lot in the science areas. And we are actually a really well-known art and design school. So if anybody is an artist like me out there, you might find some interest in that. But again, these are just the top ones that students are kind of gravitating towards, but then like the whole list is if you want to be very overwhelmed on the website. So you can take a look if there's something specific that you're looking for. So the biggest other piece besides what you're going to study is where you're going to live. Because if you do decide to do a 4-year program, 4 years is a pretty long time to commit yourself somewhere. So we do a lot of work to make sure you're really comfy. And again, everything you're seeing is exactly what you're going to get. So that nice big picture behind Be Comfortable, that's the Wildcat Lodge, which is the entrance to our dorm rooms, the Woods complex. That's actually the food down in the bottom corner there at Northern Lights Dining. So everything you're looking at is exactly what it is on campus if you hadn't had a chance to go up. And so with housing, we're not going to go too deep because there's so many details. If you're kind of liking what you're seeing, you want to know more, you'll see that yellow bar to the right of your screen, that nmu.edu/housing link. So if you go to that or screenshot or just make a note of it, all of these floor plans and details and everything, all the options are going to be listed extensively on that website. So take a look at that. But the two big things to kind of take away from me today are we do have a living requirement. So freshmen and sophomores are required to live on campus for their first 2 years. So that's one of the big things. And the other big one that a lot of people I know ask about is, can I have a car on campus? And you can bring your car right away as a freshman. So that's kind of a nice perk. You park right outside your dorm room. Your dorm rooms are really pretty much in the vicinity where your classes are. So it's a very easy walkable campus. And then in the wintertime, which might be more, this might be more available or interesting to you then, but about 90% of our buildings are connected by tunnels. So you don't have to walk outside too much. If you hear about the horrid Upper Peninsula snowstorms, we do get about 14 feet of snow. So it does snow a lot up there, that's true. But we try and keep you as warm and cozy as we can with the indoor walkways. But I know my video is kind of covering the top picture there, but that picture with the granite countertops and the sinks, and you can kind of see it going back, that's on the website, but that is the actual dorm room. So your dorm rooms in the Woods are all granite countertops and hardwood floors. There's all really nice finishes in that. This is brand new. It's just about, I think, 2 years old now, maybe going on year 3. So this is massive. This is where predominantly most of our students live. So this isn't meant to be like the fancy only upperclassmen housing. This is meant to kind of be the standard. And then there's also the quad, which is the picture of the 2 ladies down below. That's much more of your like traditional, it's one of our older still standing residence halls that we do have available as well. So some different options all across the way. You can have your own room. You can do suite style, which is living with 3 other people. And it's really across the map with all the different options. So take a look at all of those. And so I mentioned we wanted you to be comfortable living, but we also kind of want to give you some stretch experiences that might make you a little bit uncomfortable and make some mistakes and some growth from all of that. So we do a lot of different things that happen on campus and of course off. So if somebody is thinking about studying abroad, we go to over 50 countries. So a lot of different options there. You can see just tons of internships. They're not required, but the options again are there within the network of NMU alums and other just faculty connections. You can get those through. And then one of the great quotes here by Rebecca Patterson over in our music department, where she says, seize the moment. College is a unique opportunity for self-discovery and to take some risks. And really that's what we're there to help you do and to help you really explore those different opportunities that really build your skill set and kind of round out your experience. So none of this again is required. It's all completely optional. If you want it, it's there to take advantage of, but a lot of different things that students will do. A lot of our faculty will lead excursions, like over in biology, they'll take a group of students out to the Virgin Islands in March when we can can travel, or they'll go to, South Africa to do different biology tracks. Some students will go and just do personal excursions. It doesn't have to be tied to a class. So it's really just case by case. Again, not a one size fits all. And really it comes down to just immersing you in kind of the NMU culture on campus and what you're going to be doing in your classes, and exactly what you're seeing in these photos. That hands-on constant theme I keep hitting on, that's just really true to form. So it's not so much about like read a textbook and take a PowerPoint quiz and go home. It's really working out in the field, working with the equipment that you're going to be working on the job, and just making sure you feel really prepared to be successful when you leave NMU and go on to your next chapter. So with campus too, a lot of people say, well, what do I even do? What do you get up to on campus in Marquette? And there's just a ton of things that happen. So there's over 300 student organizations, and of course the entire roster of athletics. One of the big new things that is happening this year is our co-ed esports team. So if anybody is a video gamer out there, that might be of interest to you, but that was a pretty big add-on this year to the roster. And of course, all of our NCAA sports. So we're Division II in all of our sports and athletics, except for men's ice hockey's Division I, if that is of interest to anyone. And then it just goes from there. So if you're not looking to play a full-on scholarship sport, but maybe you just kind of want to do some like jump in basketball or Battleship H2O or all the little fun things that happen, there are so many levels. And of course, Marquette is a pretty nice playground too to take advantage of with that. And really what it comes down to is we want you just to be comfortable and safe to express who you are as a person and kind of grow into a new version of yourself while you're in Marquette and kind of learning and discovering who you are. And so we put a lot of work into our different support services to help make sure that happens safely and happily for you. And so with the support services, we do everything from tutoring in our writing center, resume writing, there's counseling services, you name it, there is absolutely an accommodation that we can definitely look into making happen for you. So we put a lot of work in not just our faculty, but our staff. So people like me that are on campus and working on campus, really making those opportunities really relevant. And there's kind of a funny quote here from Jordan where he says, I've made a lot of mistakes, as I'm sure most students have done in my first couple of years, but I was able to get the help I needed in order to straighten up. And really what it comes down to is if you make a mistake, we're not going to throw you out in the snowbank and tell you, well, you screwed up, that's it. That's not how we operate. And so if there is something that you do or you get off track or anything that you're needing, we're there to help make sure that that rights itself and give you the ways to be successful that we want you to have a great experience too. So if there's anything you're looking for specifically, take a look at that nmu.edu/support link up top there in white, and that'll list the full official kind of whole menu, if you want to call it, of services that we have. And if there's anything you're looking for, we can go deeper from there. But just some good things to be aware of. And one of the last things I'm just going to touch on, obviously Marquette, very easy place to love. So if you are a surfer, a snowboarder, a skier, if you like flannel and drive a Subaru, you are going to fit right in. A lot of great people doing all of those things. But we're just a really nice kind of friendly place. So if you're in the lower peninsula of Michigan, I compare it a lot to like Traverse City or Petoskey in type of a size and a feel of the downtown. So really nice, kind of small downtown, but still a lot going on. And the university, you're probably about a 15-minute walk from the university proper, the whole campus proper itself to the downtown area. So a lot of students take advantage of that as well. And those fat tire snow bikes there down in that bottom picture on the left-hand side, those are actually free for student use. So you can take those out on the trails. If you're a student, no charge to rent those at all. And of course, Mount Marquette is right nearby. So skiing and snowboarding is a pretty big thing that a lot of people get up to in Marquette. And the very last thing to talk about is obviously money. So that's a pretty big reason of why I think a lot of people would choose or choose not to go to college. And that's a big burden that we definitely place on our shoulders to make sure we're helping you to be successful in those choices and that you're feeling really comfortable and responsible with the cost of attendance and what you're getting for that. So with us, a number kind of example here. So for tuition, this is a little bit of a breakdown if you were to pay a monthly payment, which there's a bunch of different ways to pay. So this isn't true to everybody. But if you're just looking for that all in like sticker price, like you're like, Jillian, just give me the one number, I can't read all these charts. We're at just about $25,000 per year as a sticker price. So that sounds like an alarming number. $25,000 sounds like a lot of money. With that, really what that comes down to, it's your tuition, it's your dorm room, it's your meal plan, it's all your books and your fees, and about 90% of students are not paying the sticker price. So that's before any financial aid, any Pell Grants, any government grants, grants, any scholarships, if you're tuition incentive program eligible, I mean, any of those types of things, that number starts to come down. So tuition wise, we're actually the second lowest tuition in the state of Michigan right now. So our tuition is coming in to be about 11,000 and some change per year with that. The other big perk you get out of tuition with us is everybody gets their own brand new laptop. So you get a Lenovo ThinkPad, or if you do any of the art and design majors, you get a brand new MacBook Pro. So that's kind of a little fun perk. And then we also have our own WiMAX network. So you take that laptop anywhere across the whole Upper Peninsula, so out in the woods, anywhere you want to go, you can actually get Wi-Fi anywhere you go on those laptops. So that's kind of another cool little piece of the student puzzle with all the money aspect. So I know that's kind of a big thing and big conversation to have, but that's what you're looking at with us. And with scholarships, so right here I have the transfer scholarships up. I'll swap that out. I'll take a look at the freshman scholarships here in a second. This would be if you went to a community college first and then transferred up to us. So we would just be looking at your college GPA, and I'll touch here in a second on the freshman scholarships. But with all of our admission scholarships, there's nothing that you need to apply for. We're just literally going to look at your high school transcripts and then award you the money based on that. So nothing you even have to think about or do here. The one big thing that I do want to mention here is, let me get to, there's the freshman scholarship. So right here. So with the freshman scholarships, this is going off of your high school GPA. And here you will see that we're not requiring a test score. So for admissions purposes, we're only looking at your high school transcripts. No test scores required at all this year. So we're considered test blind if you're looking for the official term, and the scholarships are kind of following suit. So with that, we're just literally going to look at your transcript, see where your GPA falls, and then you get that amount of money per year from us. So it's not just once, it's for the full duration that you're at NMU. So I know that's kind of a lot of different things to think about, but this is all listed on the website too, if you want to go a little bit deeper. And you can see if you'd like to send us your test scores, we can bump you up some more scholarship levels. So you can start to see where the test scores could come into play if that's something you're looking to do. And then the other big thing was this slide right here I want to talk about, was presidential scholars. So for my seniors right now, if you're a really high achieving senior, a 3.5 student or higher, take a look at presidential scholars. It's going to be happening here at the end of October. So we would just need you to be an admitted student to NMU. Does not mean you have to come, just submit your application. And this is our big scholarship competition of the year. So this is 10 full rides, 10 tuition stipends, and a lot of other awards that come out of this. So some really great scholarship opportunities here. So take a look at that gold link down at the bottom, and that will tell you all the eligibility requirements. You can submit your application right online for that. So I think the last thing that I wanted to give you was me. So I mentioned at the very beginning, any questions that come along the way, please email me. Please let me know where I can be of help. This is exactly me in my email, so jot that down if that's helpful for you. But that was kind of the whole high level spiel of Northern Michigan University. So I guess we'll see if we have any questions from the group that's on today. But other than that, that's kind of the whole deal. So let's see if there's anything in the chat. Doesn't look like it.
I didn't see anything in the chat, but I did have a question submitted in the registration form, and the student was wondering, is there an optimal date to apply by?
Great question. Yeah. So we have what you call rolling admissions. You might hear that term a lot. So no deadlines is really what that means. If you are a senior, I typically say kind of depends where your GPA falls. So if you're a 3.5 or higher senior, then definitely like October right now is a great time to have your application in by if you want to do presidential scholars. If that doesn't apply to you at all, then probably January, February. So winter of your senior year is a good time to get the application in. And then you kind of have enough time to plan and to prep and do all the next little steps to enrollment. So winter of your senior year is just a good time to shoot for, but again, no official deadlines.
Another question was, does Northern participate in the Common App?
We do not. Nope. So nothing with the Common App. And that's mostly because we don't require essays for admission. Yeah. So all you have to do is just go online to nmu.edu/apply, super quick online application, no essays, nothing of that, and just submit your high school transcripts and then the application fee, which we do offer fee waivers as well on the website. So that's,
Awesome.
yeah, good to know there. So yeah, if you type in the search bar NMU fee waiver, that will come right up too. And you just have to have your counselor sign it. So that's kind of a good thing to be aware of.
That's such a great thing to know. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jillian. Thank you for sharing so much about Northern. It's so excited to learn. And I actually went to Northern for a couple of years and I enjoyed my experience there, but it's grown and changed so much. It's so much more modern and exciting.
Yeah, totally different place. And we have a lot of alums that come from like the 70s and 80s time frame when they were back. They like are floored. Like they don't even know if they're in the right place anymore. But probably the last 5 years, it's really changed. So it's fun to see and watch. But yeah,
Looks like a great experience for students who are interested.
yeah.
So I thank you so much for being here, and everyone who is at home watching, reach out to Jillian if you have any questions, and I'm here to help you as well. So if you need someone to connect you, you can email me at jodym@ludington.org. Thank you, everybody. Have a great time. Thanks again, Jillian. It was great to learn about Northern Michigan University.
Thanks, Jody.